If we could please bring our Board of Education meeting to order at 6:02 on this Wednesday, June 15th, 2022, with a roll call, please, Kim.
Colleen Klimczak.
Present.
Claudia Parker. Kim Leonard, present. Judy Basin.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Michael Miller.
Present.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
All accounted.
Excellent, thank you. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, to my board, if we could take a glance at our agenda, the many derivations of the agenda. Thank you so much, Sonia. Sorry about that. And we will have one small amendment to make. Items number consent agenda action items, consent agenda. Items number 8 and 9, we do not have the approved the board minutes for the regular meeting of the 18th and closed session. So we're gonna table that until next month. That's the only change I have. If anybody else has other changes.
Alright, so there'll only be 9 under action item 8.
One more time, please.
It's gonna be numbered 1 through 9.
Yes, excellent. Okay, any other changes? Cool, so if we could approve the agenda as with that amendment, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Michael, and a second? No? We got lots of seconds, we got a second and a third.
Michael
So
on.
Denise, please, thank you.
Michael Miller.
Yay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Judy Basin.
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker.
Yes.
Colleen Klimczak.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Excellent, thank you so much. I will turn it over, staff reports, to Dr. Woodland.
Okay, our first update is from Linda Panico from the foundation.
Good evening, Dr. Woodland, Board of Education. I am Linda Panico, President of the District 124 Foundation. First, we'd like to take a minute to thank all of our administration, staff, teachers, our secretaries, everyone in the buildings for a successful school year. We can't thank you all enough for what you have done for our students every day. We want to say thank you for all the help you give the foundation throughout the year, especially our building secretaries for all of our last minute flyers that we are constantly asking them to send home and collect envelopes. I would say I'm gonna be better next year, but I know I won't, so they're still gonna come at last minute. As you know, we are already planning our back to school bash, and we are so excited. We have already many activities planned, and our foam is back, so we're very happy for that. So we are hitting the community, looking for sponsorships, we're looking for raffle baskets, all that good stuff. So if anybody who wants to sponsor, give us a basket, please reach out to me. So tonight I'm really excited that we have a main event sponsor. We are pleased to announce that OSF, Little Company of Mary Hospital Medical Center, is here this evening to present us a check for $2,000 for our back to school bash. And I would like to introduce Kim Garrison Clanton from OSF to come up, and she is going to present the foundation a check.
That's a very large Welcome and thank you. That's
We're happy
phenomenal.
to
Oh my
just-
gosh.
Happy to assist and help the
Phenomenal.
community
We're
and
so
just,
excited.
we're happy that things are getting back to normal so we can do this more often.
If you can join us that night, it's quite the fun evening, so
Yes,
please,
I'm looking
please,
forward
I
to
hope
it.
so, that would be great.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get to grab a cupcake. Thank you.
We like to celebrate, yes.
How did they convince you to give us a donation?
You know what, I actually have a heart for education. I come from a family of educators, and so it's an easy ask for me, so.
I love that. So they just reached out to you and asked,
Yes.
and you just had a yes in your
Yes,
heart.
absolutely.
Thank you
Isn't that
even
awesome?
more. It really is.
Appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much.
We appreciate you all. I know most of my parents were CPS educators for many, many years, and so I know what it takes to have a heart for children and the families.
And what is your role at the hospital?
I'm the, first of all, I'm sorry, I'm Kim Garrison Clay, and I'm the Regional Marketing and Communications Director for OSF, Little Company of Mary. So I cover all of Chicagoland, OSF region.
Fantastic.
We are
And you
so
came
excited
to
that you are
be
our
with us.
sponsor, like,
Yes.
how awesome. Half of our kids probably came out of your hospital at one point.
Well, we appreciate the donation, and perhaps you can stop by. We would love for you to experience the back.
I'll be there.
That would be
I
fun.
usually come to every community event. I've only been with OSF for about 9 months, but I grew up in the south suburbs. I have family and friends who live in the community, and I'm always pushing local events. So I will be there, and I look forward to future collaborations with you all.
Awesome.
Thank you so
so
much.
So we are so appreciative of OSF, absolutely. And then lastly, just a quick announcement, we are looking for some new board members for the foundation. So we are going to be putting out a link on the website in the next few weeks. We have a couple positions that are gonna be opening up. So again, if anybody is looking to recommend somebody to join our board, please spread the word.
Why don't you
And-
talk a little bit about what you're looking for, what's the commitment like?
No pressure.
What's that?
I said no pressure, but that would be helpful.
I'm sorry?
You looking for like to help? like,
No,
how
she
you-
wants people to serve.
Yeah,
So
so-
talk a little bit about what you need.
Sure. So, we need to find somebody who has, availability during the day to help us as far as, emailing, reaching out to the community, things like that. It's,
Coordinating the efforts really with the school, like the secretaries, taking some of the pressure off of them that.
yeah, so the positions that we are probably gonna be filling will be just a general board member and a co-president. So coming into those positions, as a co-president, it'll be working with me as far as doing all the activities all year, putting all the fundraisers together. It's very time committing, so the goal is to find somebody that actually has time to take on a lot of the pressure of coordinating these events. So, whether your child has graduated and they're going into the high school, we are welcoming anybody to come on the board. It doesn't have to be a particular person, just somebody who is gonna have the time to commit to us.
You don't have to have any previous experience.
No.
You don't have to have a child in the district.
No,
You're looking to fulfill maybe 15, 20 hours a week,
yeah, so yes, it is about a good 15 hours, so.
and
our busy-
primarily data-driven, clerical.
Yeah, so our busy time obviously is during the back to school bash.
Okay.
Honestly, you start in April and you don't quit till the day of the bash. So that is a huge commitment. It's a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of running to businesses to pick up checks, pick up baskets, coordinating everybody.
How many physical meetings?
What's that?
How many in-person
So
physical?
we meet every month in person.
Once a month in
Once a month
person.
for like usually 4:30 or 5 o'clock. It's usually on board nights to make it easier for
At 4:30.
administration since they're already here. We try to keep everything on the same night. And then we have our Christmas, breakfast with the Grinch, and then our new fundraiser of the Pop, which will happen again in the spring. So those are our three big things. So you get like in January and February, a little break where things slow down, but it's the only time. No experience needed, but they need to have a drive to wanna help our foundation successful. We wanna have a drive that you wanna help our students, but since we've taken on a new role of helping our families in need. So we need somebody who wants and who's gonna love that. We are trying to help our community, help our students and families. So, it's a commitment and, but that's all we're asking, somebody just who really wants to help grow the foundation and be successful with it and continue to help our schools, the principals fill these wish lists that they want, things like that.
So you have two positions available.
So yeah,
And
so
the
one is
application
just,
process is like what?
So when we put this out online, there'll be an application process. They'll fill out an application. Once we get, a bunch of them, we'll call, the board will meet with the applicants and we'll interview. And then, if we have a candidate that's gonna make it through, we'll put them on the board. If it's not something that they really thought it was gonna be, then we're gonna open it up again. But the link won't go out probably till July. We gotta put it together, put the questionnaire out there. And then we're hoping by after the bash in September that we'll have a co-president with myself and then another board member who will just come on as a board member. There's our secretary, treasurer, all of them are staying in place. So that's where we're heading.
See?
Volunteers are
Now they
always
have all the
welcome.
information, so.
So everybody in this room is gonna put an application.
Yes.
No, it's
It's
gonna be
coming.
flooded. So yes, that's what we are looking for.
Thank you, Linda.
So thank you.
And
Thank you.
volunteers are always welcome, especially for the bash. That will also be
Absolutely, I mean,
coming up.
we'll be putting out the link for the volunteers, yes. We have our drone plan. You're committed to that?
Right over the phone.
Is that-
Right
The
over the
drone will
phone.
be right over the phone.
It'll be really
So there
cool.
you go.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Linda. I
Thank
love
you
the
so much.
direction
Thanks
of
for
the
all that you
foundation.
do.
All
No
right,
problem.
our next is directly tied to our assessment presentations led by our building principals, and we are gonna start with Dr. Bannock at Northwest.
Oh.
Go to the next slide. So these are our STAR scores. So for each of the schools, it'll look very similar. So STAR is the assessment that we take 3 times a year, in the fall, the winter, and the spring. It's our benchmark assessment. And we look at 2 different scores. So there's an achievement score that talks about like how students are doing across, if you compare them across the nation, this is how their score did compared to other same age peers, same grade peers. So like, for example, kindergarten in spring, 77th percentile means they scored better than 77% of other kindergartners in the spring in the nation. The other score we will look at is growth. So it's the SGP, or student growth percentile. So just to explain that for a second. What they do is they take everyone who started at a similar score. So like they line up everyone who started at the 60th percentile and they see how far those students grow. And that the percentile is kind of the same thing, but it's based on the growth. So it compares their growth to everyone else that started in that same, like I said, around the 60th percentile. So like a 71 SGP means they grew better than 71% of students that started at the same score. So these are our scores. So just to show you, we did the fall, the spring, just to show the growth. So as you can see, there's some really good growth. We came into the year obviously coming off of a pandemic. So scores for some students were a little bit lower than what was expected, but we had some really nice growth across the board. So achievement scores, you can see they grew from the fall to the spring. For the growth score, for the achievement scores, we strive that our students are at the 50th percentile. So we want to see them at that as a district goal. And then for SGP, we also strive to have, STAR would say that you could, anything above a 35 is good. But as a district, we also set the 50th SGP as a goal for the district. So as you can see at Northwest, all of our grades did really well. We came, almost every single grade met or exceeded the SGP. The exception of third, they were kind of knocking at the door with that at 48. So very close. But we had some really good growth. So this is our reading. And on the next slide, you'll see our math scores. So same thing, we had some really good growth. Going into it, as you see with the SGP, same thing. We met or exceeded with the exception of third, who was like really close being there, going on from there.
Hit the same number again.
They did, yeah. And so each school is gonna kind of present plans that we're gonna look at going for next year. So for Northwest, for culture, we're going to continue our after-school support for students in terms of after-school homework help for students. We're also next year going to be emphasizing executive functioning skills. One thing we noticed this year is students came back, they spent so much time on technology, it's really hard to get them back into the swing of things and going forward. So that's one thing we're going to spend a little bit more time on next year, is just like executive functioning and how that works within the classroom. In terms of curriculum, instruction, and assessment, we started a reading medal program this year to encourage students to read independently and to apply the skills that they're learning in the classroom to their books. So we started that this year and that it went pretty well, so we're going to continue that next year. continuing focusing on the small group. We are getting the new math series, so just working on that and the integration of standards, using manipulatives with that. And one of the things I noticed this year, especially as we talked about with the pandemic, we had a lot of transfer students in. So this year we had like 10% of our K through 5 students this year were transfers in, and they had a lot of different experiences, some less than others, in terms of their experience during COVID. And so just finding ways for those students that maybe didn't have as an intense academic experience as they should have, how to get them caught up and moving forward with them going on from here. So questions on Northwest?
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Right, next we'll have Mr. Liska for Southwest.
You look like you've been on the golf course.
Not yet. Almost there.
Getting there.
Okay, so Southwest, here is our reading data. And so as you know, Matt alluded to, the achievement scores were a little lower than we're used to in terms of the beginning of the year. But by the end of the year, our teachers had really closed a lot of those gaps and stepped up. There are a lot of things, I think, that, you know, in our conversations as we were closing out the school year, wait, that was this year that happened? We think back to September and October, and it's amazing how many things go on throughout the course of the school year. But I think what the data reflects is just strong instruction by the teachers and you know, continuing to put kids and their needs first results in some of the growth that we've seen here. And so here is our math data. I mean, the second grade number really jumps off the board there in terms of, you know, a team that really works well together. We had a leave, you know, at the end of the school year, and the team really collaborated with that individual to fold them right into the mix and to not miss a beat. So yeah, again, strong instruction. And so one of the things that we really want to get back to next year in terms of our culture and the curriculum and instruction is we want to bring back some of those extracurricular opportunities that we've been missing. As we started to bring those back throughout the school year, it just feels different in the building. When kids are still there at 3:30, 4 o'clock, that's something that we haven't seen the past couple of school years. And so we've had some teachers retire over the last couple of years at Southwest, and so finding our new staff and their new ideas on new extracurricular opportunities that they can bring, something that I'm excited about for next year. And then continue to celebrate the successes and leverage that strong instruction that's happening. The coach intervention position, I thought, you know, we really laid a solid base this year, and so just continuing to utilize the expertise of those two people. I spent a lot of time in classrooms, whether it was pulling small groups in the room or working with teachers to broaden their skill set. And so I think that in the long run will help out in that tier 2 instruction, because thinking back to last year, and again, it's in my curriculum bullet point for this year, is those kids between the 25th and the 50th percentile. So kids that we don't always pull for intervention. We had so many kids when I ran the data who were at like the 49th percentile. I think it was like 35 kids across the school. And so how can we just drop those kids into that next bucket? And that's where our after school programming, as opposed to like a homework help, a little bit more targeted based on the skills that the students need, I think will continue to help those students. The district implementation team and the work that Dr. Carlson and Jen Dale are doing around tier 1 instruction is something that we'll also focus on next year. And then I think that so much of it comes down to building that culture of literacy. And so how do we make sure that we're putting those quality books and interesting texts in kids' hands? One way that we'll do that is we'll have our library back next year, and already thinking about okay, all the sofas and the bean bags and everything are going to come back into the library as opposed to the lunch tables. The carpet's going to get a really good clean. Those cheese pizza kits are messy, but no, we're excited, and we're looking to build on the success that we had this year. Questions?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank She's going that way.
Oh, nice traffic flow. Excellent. Good job.
She's gonna serve, so, right, exactly. Okay, so, Northeast scores, in my opinion, are wonderful. And they truly don't even reflect the full growth. Funny joke, I tried to put my data in, with the principals and they're like, Carrie, where's your data look like that? Because I showed everyone that truly made growth, because I think that's important. We had so many students. We had 60% or over 40% of our students remote last year for the entire year. And like us in Central and I believe Southeast were up there. So that totally plays a role, I believe, in our starting point. So as you can see, we have some huge celebrations, but we also have some work to do ahead of us. But that's why I love data, because it sets your goals and you want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction, and we definitely are. So our kindergarten team, unbelievable. We have actually a new kindergarten teacher. She moved from first grade, Holly Wodarski, to kindergarten, and her and Linda Blazer really did a tremendous job. And then we also had Mary Zofke in the coach interventionist role, so early intervention is the key, and we really want to hit, and it was a great kindergarten group with supportive parents. And so we're super excited. I will be excited to track them, throughout grade after grade after grade.
Sure.
So we're super excited about this. Data, some 32 to 64, you have to see where we started from too, 30% to 50% in second grade. Those grade levels were hit the hardest, during the pandemic, so they did a great job. But, that goes to clear, consistent expectations that were set. Basically, our first mid-quarter was all about executive functioning skills and really getting kids back into the building and following rules. Fourth and fifth grade, we have some work to do, but as you can see, looking at that
Some big jumps.
Yes, so on to math. Math is looking pretty great too. 20% to 50% in second grade. I do want to give the second grade team also a little shout out. I would like to give, I'm super proud of all my teachers and my staff, but they were, and they're probably sick of me saying this word, very creative in their scheduling and their flexible grouping and their fluidity of their groups, and they switched with one another, and someone would take like the lower group, some would take the higher group, and this was in second grade. We utilized our media aid as well, so I feel like it was like an overall team effort, but super proud of those scores. Again, not exactly where we want them to be, but these don't even reflect, like I like to say, the students that are in the blue, the ones that are just right on the cusp. So, but again, it's exciting. So celebrations for Northeast. And then so for our plan moving forward, we're going to focus on the implementation of the strategic plan with the building leadership teams. We're going to continue to strengthen our home and school connections. I call it our Parents as Partner series, and now we will be able to be a little bit more intentional on the topics that we cover there. I really would like to run 3 this year: literacy, then 1 SEL, and then another one on the new math curriculum, and actually math FAC fluency as well. We will continue to implement after-school homework support in those SEL groups, which I did promise you. I have a little bit of data from our mentoring and our fly group. So for our mentoring, we had 6 students that met with mentors. 4 out of 6, we saw vast improvement in their behaviors, in their office referrals. So that's a celebration. The other 2 we know now. We've kind of exhausted many interventions and strategies, so we're going to move forward to the next level of support for them. And then our fly group, we had, hang on, let me look it up really quick, sorry. Our fly group was that support group for the girls, and we had, before going into the program, those girls, they tallied 12 office referrals, and by the end, there were only 6. So we cut it by 50%.
And that was 4th grade, right?
4th and 5th.
Oh, 4th and 5th,
Yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So we're very happy. Yes.
Back up to homeschool, the numbers or the percentage of participation in the homeschool?
It's about the homeschool partnership, meaning not parents that are homeschooling, me making a partnership with the home schools.
I see.
Sorry.
Oh, cause I was like,
No.
Home/school.
No, us partnering and making our, relationship stronger and offering kind of workshops and, it's something simple as helping parents read with their children or modeling what that should look like or modeling what studying should look like or, kind of digging deeper into what we're doing within the classroom.
So these workshops that you just mentioned, are those on campus or over Zoom?
Well, they were over Zoom, but
Okay.
next year we'll be able to have them on campus.
I love that.
And then for curriculum instruction and assessment, again, creating opportunities for our interventionists and coach to work with our staff, to provide our staff with opportunities to reflect, visit other classrooms. That's the one thing that I hear a lot is teachers want to see other teachers, but then other teachers don't want them to see them. So it's like this whole, we're trying to, other teachers want to, observe, but then sometimes you don't want to be observed. But I do want to create some more opportunities for them and then meaningful professional development. And then I talked about this last year. This is like what we, at our BLT teams, PBIS, whenever I'm meeting with teachers, we just talk about what graded instruction is, which mirrors what Dr. Carlson is striving for right now with our instructional model. So we just want it to be guided by those learning standards, rigorous, engaging, assess continuously, and then, those tailored instructional plans for our flexible groups. We have a lot of work, but any questions?
I love that. I think as far as like the intervention and coaches and, some of the teachers feeling subconscious about,
Going into,
it's just a matter of not feeling critiqued but supported.
right. And once you it happens the first time, and you have that meeting, that follow-up meeting, and it's you feel it should boost your confidence, because it's affirmation after affirmation.
Well, and validation for what they're doing, because a lot of these teachers are doing exactly what we want them to do, and sometimes it just knocks you off your feet when you're like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, they're rock stars. Everybody should be able to see that you're doing this, so take pictures and video.
I will. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Haley from Southeast. And summer school, she's been busy.
All right, good evening. So when you look at Southeast data, when we look at the numbers, we're really where we want to be with kindergarten, first, second, and fifth. I will say, especially second grade, when we see that growth, medium average at 66. Sarah Bledsoe's here today, so shout out to Sarah in second grade. Third and fifth, we don't see the numbers that we quite want to see, and part of that is our third grade this year had 23 students and our fifth grade had 25, so that's just a little bit, class sizes were a little higher in those grades. We're really excited for next year because we will have 3 sections of third and 3 sections of fifth, so we will have class sizes down to like 17 and 18 next year in third and fifth. So when you look at math, similar, we see great growth in second and fourth. Again, work to do in third and fifth when we look at achievement and growth. One of the things that we're really excited about as well is that we will have a full-time instructional coach next year. So we kind of reshaped that coach interventionist position. So we're still able to provide that tier 3 intervention support outside the classroom with one interventionist, and then we have one of our fourth grade teachers has moved into this instructional coach position. So really having that full-time person within the building to support best practices in instruction. So next slide. Some of the other things we're kind of working on is really, like all of the principals have said, is just continuing to support the after-school programs that we've had in the past, along with, I think, really highlighting what good instruction looks like. We have really excellent teachers, and so just providing more opportunities, like Carrie said, for teachers to share their instructional practices with each other. I think PLC time would be a great time for that, but we just have to work at kind of building that in more as we move toward next year. In terms of curriculum, again, just that tier 1 instructional framework that we have to start the year as a focus as a district, I think will be super helpful for our team to have that rubric and that model, and then to like have walkthroughs throughout the building where we're kind of gathering data on what does our whole tier 1 instruction look like and how can we support teachers with professional learning in that area. Again, besides just supporting them in that tier one, we had kind of moved away from smaller instructional groupings within the classroom with COVID. And we've had a little bit of a hard time getting back into that. And so I think as we go into next year, really supporting teachers in terms of tier two supports within the class. And what does that look like? And how do we support teachers? How do we utilize the data to group students on an ongoing basis? Like I mentioned, the full-time instructional coach, and then just having meaningful data meetings. We've really focused our data meetings on tiered meetings, so like really looking at tier 2 and tier 3 students and making sure those supports are in place. But I think with those ongoing data meetings, really looking at the whole class and are they on track for achievement and the growth numbers that we want is something that we can improve on. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you. Central Middle School.
Hello, everyone. So, see you again, Central Middle School's data as you're looking here. For the most part, looks relatively consistent to what we've seen in the past couple of years, but I do want to show a little bit on that growth for sixth grade. Love the that 54. That number is looking really, really good to us, as well as the 46 for eighth grade. So those are some of those highlights that we wanted to mention. On the next slide for math, same with consistency, but seventh grade, you can see that that growth is not where we would have wanted it. But we are pretty consistent on sixth grade with its growth, and eighth grade was also relatively consistent. So when we move over to culture and curriculum and talk about action plan, it was difficult to put together an action plan based on the idea that there are a lot of things that I wanted, particularly for my vision, to look like. But of course, my vision is not one that should be taken into account as much anymore. So we tried to stick more with the things that we know our master schedule will do for us and what the district initiatives are. Master schedule is going to isolate our sixth graders. That makes for a much smoother transition for sixth graders into middle school, which is a very vital component. As much as it's vital for eighth graders going into high school to have a smooth transition, it is very vital for sixth graders moving into middle school to have a good smooth transition. So by isolating them, they're able to get the supports that they need throughout the day and have very little impact with the seventh and eighth graders, the more seasoned students. We definitely want to focus more on equitable processes and procedures. Those are things that our district have already began, especially with our strategic plan, and we want to find more ways to celebrate the positive happenings at CMS. Those are things that I think, despite my absence or anyone's presence, it will be key for the success of Central. As far as curriculum is concerned, longer class periods will increase the instructional time for our students, which is a very important component. We were at 44 minutes for classes like ELA. Students were getting 2 electives, which basically created 88 minutes of elective time and only 44 minutes of ELA and math. So we stretched that out and shifted the idea of having 2 electives. Shifting the curriculums with teacher input was a very, very important component. That work was started with Dr. Carlson and it is finishing off. We're piloting different ELA programs, new math programs coming in, so these things will have a heavy impact on the scores that you see. And then a heavy focus on the Tier 1 instruction work that has also been led with Dr. Woodland as well as Dr. Carlson and Ms. Dr. Jennifer Dale. PLC's review for data is one thing that is a vital component to having PLCs, and it is something that I think will play a big role in the coming success for Central Middle School. Before I let you go, I do want to take a quick moment to express extreme gratitude to the board, to Daniel Richmond and Jenny Daly, and every teacher, assistant, secretary, and janitor, everyone at Central Middle School. Absolutely phenomenal people, and I will miss you all. So thank you.
Thank you for all you've done this year, truly.
Yes, ma'am.
How did the fast forward day go with the fifth grader?
How did the fast forward day go? The fast forward day I thought was absolutely phenomenal. Every kid
Minus
that
the rain.
You
Minus the
can't
rain.
control the rain.
Yes, the rain made it a little difficult. Thankfully, we did okay with getting them in, but the rain did make it a little difficult. But it was a great time. Students were able to really get a good look at what they're going to be seeing and doing next year. 7th grade students, particularly 6th grade students going in 7th grade, had a lot to say about a little nervousness of what it would be in 7th grade. And our 5th grade kids were they were ecstatic. They had a lot of fun, and it was a good time. We heard a lot of positive things from teachers on both ends about how that worked. It was a very much a team effort in terms of making sure that was successful and orderly. The idea is a great idea, but it's only as good as the logistics. And I'm grateful to the staff and to the APs for the work that we did to make that look like it did. 'Cause it's really
I heard great things about it coming from 6th, 7th, and they were incoming 5th, and they were all excited about what a great day that was.
that
Yes,
makes me happy.
exactly, minus the rain. Good day. Thank you so much, and I love that we're increasing minutes for our kids next year at Central. Thank you so much. I know you and Mr. Richmond, Ms. Staley put a lot of work into that master schedule next year. We are so excited about it. You won't get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but we will.
Appreciate you.
That's what's necessary. You and the kids. That is it's good for kids.
Yes,
So it's good
so
work for
thank
kids.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
My daughter loved going to that fest.
Oh,
She came home talking about it, talking about all the teachers. She already had in mind which teachers she was hoping she had. She did. It was really nice.
They were very excited about that.
Oh yeah,
They
she was,
were,
cause she was nervous going.
Right.
But then she was so excited after meeting all the, they seem nice, and she started telling me all these different things. I was like, great, indeed.
Extracurriculars, is she
Yeah,
planning
oh
all
yeah,
of
she
them?
was
Oh, yeah.
questioning
Of
that.
course, yeah, of course. So,
That's
And
awesome.
that's the goal,
Yeah.
is to make them feel excited about their next step as opposed to, there'll still be some apprehension
Oh,
when
yeah.
they,
Oh,
when
yeah,
they come in,
definitely.
but just be more excited about.
Took the scary mystery out, now there's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
excitement.
A glimpse. That was
That's
nice.
right.
I believe that day kind of brought a lot of excitement for the community in regards to what to look for and what to expect for Central these next few years. Because even my neighbors, they were like, I think I know what to do. And they were just, but they were ready.
Yes.
And they were really, it was just something new and something exciting, something different
Yes.
that they had to do, and and the kids were just really excited to really go to the school the next day.
Exactly.
So I thought it was really nice. Whoever came up with that idea was brilliant. That was a brilliant
It was
idea.
a really good move.
Mr. Swilly, we wish you well.
Yes.
We do, in
Definitely.
all things. Thank you for all that you've done for us this year.
Thank you so much.
It's been good to have you here. Thank you so much.
That concludes our presentations for the night, but I would have to say, none of this can happen without the leadership of my principals and assistant principals and Dr. Carlson's work with curriculum and instruction. So I just want to thank them for all of their hard work and dedication. It has been a year. I'm gonna take Scott's words, right? I mean, I can't even remember August, but we're here, we made it, and I wish them all the best as they find a restful summer break, because they absolutely deserve it. And they've definitely dedicated their time and energy to kids, and I see it every day, so thank you so much. All right, next on our agenda is just a quick update in regards to our end of year celebration. That was a board event, and this was quite a celebration. I just wanted to take some time to acknowledge some of our retirements. So we had quite the hurrah in terms of sharing our retirements for the day, but it was definitely a day of laughter, a day of celebrations, a day in which we just get to see all the joy between people, and it really is what makes Evergreen Park Evergreen Park. So just year-end celebrations, we had Nancy Keating, who retired from Northwest with 11 years of service. Catherine Crenshaw from Northwest with 16 years of service. Manny Petlaw, CMS, with 19 years of service. Kim Woodard at Southeast with 20 years of service. Michelle Batchelor from Northwest with 22 years of service. Cindy Pra from Northwest with 22 years of service. Julie McGrawley from Northeast, 24 years of service. Eileen Gorman, Northeast Southwest with 30 years of service. Debbie Woodlowski from District Office with 30 years of service. Maura Quigley from Southwest with 24 years of service. Julie Rago from Northeast with 31 years of service. Laura Wall from Northwest with 31 years of service. And then last but not least, we had two with 35 years of service. So Jill Price, Northwest, 35 years of service, and Linda Sellers, CMS, with 35 years of service. It was amazing, and it was absolutely a beautiful day, and I truly enjoyed every single part of the celebration, and we've received great feedback from staff. We actually did it during their day, so everyone could sit and celebrate and eat and
It was
have
very well attended.
very well attended.
That was a hoppin'. The gym was hoppin'
It was
that day.
hoppin'.
That was pretty impressive. It
Yes.
really was, it was great though. It was great to see everybody.
And then we also brought a new tradition to Evergreen Park with our Be Evergreen Award. So this award was inspired by people who inspire people to be better, and peers could nominate peers for their Be Evergreen Award. So it's people who are doing things above and beyond, and they are recognized by their staff. So the peer who submits their peer, then their comments get read to the public, and they're then shared out loud. And we should absolutely celebrate those individuals who go above and beyond and demonstrate positivity within our staff environment, and it was definitely well received. So we hope to continue that in our future. So it was a great day to celebrate our year in entirety.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, what an amazing day.
Hey, right? All right, next we have an update from Dr. Carlson.
Quick tonight, I don't even have an extra slide or anything, so. School-wide waivers, we did this last year, this was probably at my first board meeting with you all last year. Northwest and Central Middle School don't quite make that 40% low income, which would allow them to be considered school-wide as part of our school-wide plan. Still think that's a little bit impacted by We've had free lunches, which is wonderful for our students, but oftentimes when we have those, we're unable to identify folks who need those free lunches. So do believe that those numbers will go up a bit in the coming years. But with that being said, we have to file a waiver with ISD so that we can continue with our school-wide programming that allows us to have district initiatives that we do throughout the district. So you have one for Central Middle School and also one for Northwest that we're asking for the approval tonight. And we have Eureka and Go Math materials that are left over that we will be decommissioning with your approval to be able to do the Eureka Squared, which we're bringing in. We actually have arranged for Debbie's done a wonderful job working with Follett, who'll be able to come in and take those materials, and then they will pay us for the unused things that we have. So we'll be able to hopefully get some money from that. Yeah, so they're hopefully coming on Friday. So those are my only two things tonight.
Those are big things.
Big things, but very easy.
So moving along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I should have also acknowledged Dr. Carlson too for all of her work with review of curriculum. She's done a fantastic job.
Busy year.
It's been a very busy year, so you could see her work throughout our principal's presentation as well. All right, Eric, sorry about that.
He was ready.
He was
so ready. You're
Ready
always
to talk
so
about
ready, Eric.
money.
Appreciate
Always
that.
ready.
Always.
Statement of revenues, note that we have $7 million more in revenue than we did in May 2021. $6 million of this is due to our bond. Evidence-based funding money was the main source of the revenue increase over this past month. Statement expenditures were up roughly $2 million from last month in expenditures. The main expenditures this past month are salaries, benefits, and then the construction costs are starting to come in.
But we're okay with that.
We're very excited
Yeah,
about
okay
this.
with that.
Yes, did I hear a comment
Excited.
over there?
Oh, I'm so
Him.
excited
I know,
about
you're
those
so
banners.
excited. Yes, that's great.
The main difference with this fund balance and last month's fund balance is due to the fact that we spent on the salaries and benefits and we did not receive as much in the ed fund revenue-wise this past month. I believe that we're gonna get a nice payment in June, so. We have a P tab on the agenda for Meyer for 2020. And there is a settlement for the 2020 P tab with Meyer for a total of $196,360. If we are to approve this settlement, Meyer will not have any P tabs for the next triennial. And so it's 2020, 2021, and 2022 is the triennial. And the logic behind that they would not have P tabs over the next 2 years is that they already received their 2020 taxes, which means that they would have to go through the appeal of the PTAB in order to get that money, whereas they have not received their 2021 and 2022 taxes yet. So instead of getting it back in the back end, they agreed that they would do a pre-tax extension settlement, which locks them in at a certain assessment value, and then it will, if they do it that way, then they cannot go out for a PTAB. And the agreement is if we agree to approve the settlement for the 2020, then they would do the pre-tax extension for 2021 and 2022.
So I'm gonna summarize. So the benefit to approving tonight is that it will avoid a future PTAB in 21-22, which benefits the community as a whole. Yes.
Yeah, they're getting like a set number before they get the taxes. And as you see here, the Aero Budget came out for fiscal year 23. There are a few main highlights on the budget that Dr. Gunnell has recommended to the board. You will notice only a 3.68% increase in the total budget from fiscal year 22 to fiscal year 23. And with increases in transportation, insurance, and other expenditures over this past year, and they've been pretty drastic increases, I would like to say I think 3.68% is pretty quality for increase in budget. Finally,
So I'm sorry,
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
could you just go back?
Yep.
3% salary increase, that's like through their union
Yes,
negotiation, okay. Is this a new contract?
I'm not positive.
Okay, sorry. No, okay. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were negotiating,
I feel like they were just negotiating, that's why.
I'll look it up, sorry.
They're in their
It's a
second year,
rhetorical
thank
question,
you.
I'll figure it out, sorry.
They're in their second year of the contract.
And finally, we received a FOIA from Smart Procure, and that FOIA has been completed.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
What is the 7% increase in leasing costs for Pride School? What's that?
That's one of their individual schools, and the cost, like, the lease went up over the past year, so they pay 7%.
So Aero has another individual school?
So,
It's just one of their names. It'd be like if Southwest's individual school
yeah.
went up 7%.
so let me explain. Aero won't have the new bigger building, not next year, but the year after. So next year, they still have to address spacing concerns and they lease a building for Pride. And when they go out to lease, there's the potential for an increase, and next year there's a 7% increase that they have to account for in their budget. But moving forward, the 22-20 or the 23 school year, when the building is built, we will no longer have that issue, which is great news.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be done, right, Judy?
No pressure.
Any other questions? Or?
So the two employees they are adding, is that the new executive?
He's one of them, and then another one was a teacher.
Okay,
Yeah.
teacher, okay, gotcha.
Good questions.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So public comments, I will say what I always say. So we do have a public comment this evening, and we welcome public comments. So a few reminders specifically about the logistics for the public comment portion of every meeting, including this evening. As is posted on our agenda publicly for every meeting, to respect all of our stakeholders, our commenters, our board, our public, we adhere very closely to the 3-minute limit for comments for everyone. We will set a timer, and we expect everyone to respect their 3 minutes. Kim will be keeping an eye on that for me because it's behind me, so thank you very much for that, Kim. And in addition, we do not respond to public comments at board meetings, but we do hear them. We respect, we listen to, and we take into account all of the community members' concerns. And if there's a specific question or something that we need to follow up on, we absolutely will within a day or two. So we do have a public comment. I have a green sheet, and I'm only gonna say the first name because I don't wanna destroy the last name, if that's okay. So we have Maureen.
Eichstadt?
Close enough, starts with an E. Thank you. I know that you gave the proper spelling to Sonia as well, so thank you very much.
Very phonetic. So my husband and I moved here 5 years ago. It's been great, we're empty nesters. But I am a administrator in a nearby district. So I very much closely watch what's happening with the board because as we know, property values are very much tied to the health of the school district. So, also being a local administrator, I know that sometimes you guys get the pits and not the peaches. So I wanted to tell you a couple things that I think your communication is excellent. If you don't think anybody reads this, I do. And then I told my husband all about it. It's a great way for me to stay connected as an administrator because we all see, we're on our computers so much that it's like sometimes to get print is nice. So I really love that you guys do this, so I appreciate it. I was super excited to read about partnering with Dr. Orzel in your strategic plan. I took a class with her. She's incredibly brilliant. She's impressive. So I told my husband, I'm like, oh my God, they're partnering with Dr. Orzel and this, I'm so excited for our district. Finally, I was gonna talk a little bit about staffing. I did a reference check not long ago for a student teacher. And the teacher at Northwest School was super impressive, and I told her so, and she thought I was trying to recruit her. And then I said, no, I'm actually a taxpayer, and I want you to know that, it pleases me to know this is the quality of people we're getting. And so I thank you for that. And then finally, I wanted to compliment you and congratulate you on your choice of Central Middle School principal.
Excellent, thank you.
My good friend Joe.
Oh, wonderful.
So I've got 1 minute left, but thank you, really,
Well done.
thank you for everything you do.
I just
Thank
have a
you.
question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your administrative role?
I'm principal at Worth Elementary School.
Oh, wonderful.
Very
You're right
good.
up the street.
And then I was assistant principal at Worth Junior High.
Oh, look at that.
So I just wanted to say, we were gonna come anyway because I wanted to talk about some of the great things you're doing and that you guys really need to hear it.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I wrote down pits, not peaches. I have to use that one, so y'all heard me, I'm giving her credit, so thank you very much, I appreciate it. Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay, so, board reports. Aero Governing Board.
Okay, I have just a quick update because there was, at a special meeting that was called in June, there was a change order that was approved by the governing board that has to do with some difficulties with construction. So specifically, they approved for a portion of the contingency to be utilized to make up the cost for Lakeshore Glass. A company called J.S. Reimer, and they haul roads and build undercuts. So they there's an excess that they had to charge in the amount of $315,000.
Wow.
Lakeshore Glass, the excess was $61,000. And then an excess that's going to Hargrave Builders, and they deal with the wood and hollow metal doors, the frames and hardware for the doors. And that excess is in the amount of $60,978. But the good news is that this leaves, there was a contingency balance of $2.3 million that was reserved for this very thing. So this will leave a balance of $1.75 million. So they're not over budget, but this change order was approved and it cuts into the contingency so far, but there's still funds left.
So the bids just came in too low or supplies went up, like what? 300,000 seems to be like a big variance.
Yeah, and it had to do with, I'm gonna read it to you because I don't fully understand, sometimes when the construction firms are speaking, it's not my language really, to be honest with you. But they said that that the building pad granular base, haul roads, and building undercuts were in excess of the allowances directed by the district. So I'm not sure exactly how those allowances were set and why that excess occurred, but that is the reason that was stated.
And I think it's typical within construction projects that you have a contingency for a reason. in, and then you can allocate that appropriately because you're budgeting for it up front.
Well, yeah, like it doesn't surprise me that the wood and the steel has
Yeah,
risen
exactly.
60,
Right,
like,
lots of ups and downs.
yeah,
with
look at
supplies.
Yeah.
Menards and Home Depot, their prices are just
And it's
continually.
just complete supply and demand right
Right,
now
oh,
as well.
definitely. But I agree, 300,000 sounds like a big cut, but
It's also a $50 million project, so we have to remember that there's,
sure.
in the grand scheme of things, that's not necessarily as significant.
My household budget of $300,000.
Yeah, exactly.
But it
Yeah,
is a
50
big
million a
project
little
for
bit,
sure.
So that was it. That was the special meeting in June, and I'll have the regular meeting before our July meeting, so I'll report on that then.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I don't have a board member name attached to the parent handbook
Rachel.
meeting
Yeah.
review.
Great, thanks,
So.
Rachel pointed out some other
Thank you,
things for us too, fixed up, so that's great.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about those.
Extended day fees, yeah.
So what we talked about was our wonderful parent handbook here that I know everybody reads. And so section D, which has to do with student conduct, they're changing it. And so this time in the student conduct, they're gonna have 3 levels. So level 1 has to do with minor behaviors, level 2 is with major behaviors, and level 3 monumental behaviors. So for each area, it talks about the possible, it gives examples of these types of conduct, but then it also lists possible interventions and consequences for each section, which I like because then it's divided up between 3 ways instead of just bunched together. You know, it's more understandable, I think, for the parents. And the big discussion regarding this as well was having to do with making sure that all schools were on the same page, that they all were referring to the student handbook or the parent handbook and understood what their role was, you know, the teacher's role in the classroom before it gets moved on to the next level. And there was also talk regarding new teachers, making sure that they stressed this handbook with the new teachers, explaining to, so they could see what the conduct, you know, should be and how they should handle it. We also discussed, the importance, trying to stress the importance to parents on reading these, because I know all of the parents signed that little form that we read it, and I'm gonna say, you know, maybe I might have just glanced through it, you know, and parents tend to look through it when they need it, when something happens. And so we need to stress the importance of reading it ahead of time, going through it, because then, you know, they could come with questions or, you know what's expected of them. Because, you know, it's a lot to look at, but it's something we need to stress the importance of. We brought up a couple minor changes in addition to the conduct. I think one had to do with
Extended day fees.
extended day fees, because those were updated. And also,
We had to change the section related to free breakfast and
Yes.
free lunch because
Yes.
that's no longer gonna be applicable to the state, from the state.
And just, this is all aligning it to Senate Bill 100. So every school district is going to be going through the process that you went through, and thank you very much for doing that. Because we need to have that, the discipline and the support structure in place that reflects the changes that were made.
And the concept of intervention when a student has some sort of referral, I think is also critically important. It's not just we wanna provide a student a consequence, we wanna make sure that we're also intervening and that we are really focusing on how do we restore relationships with the child once they've made a mistake. And that kids are entitled to mistakes, but we wanna ensure that we repair that relationship with all kids.
Maybe over the summer in the newsletters, we tackle bits and pieces of the
parts of it, right?
parts of it,
Important
like
updates,
the
right.
things that we
That's-
changed,
Yeah, that's
Great idea.
to inspire them to read it from
inspire.
page
This is a
or
nice-
front to back, Rachel, absolutely.
Everyone signs that form that they read it.
You're right, they do.
You know, I had quick story coming in as I had a kindergartner, her birthday's September 4th, so it's right after school starts. I didn't read the handbook, and it's her birthday, and I came to school with this big, huge thing of cupcakes.
Nope.
And at the end of the day, I see all the kids with Ziploc bags with their
Yes.
cupcakes inside, and I was like, why didn't she get them the cupcakes? And poor Mrs. Babbiar, she had to deal with me. And she was like, Mrs. Parker, it was in the handbook, you're not allowed to bring the cupcakes. And I was like, oh, walk of shame back to the car. Yeah.
So,
So
read the handbook.
especially the incoming new parents, read the handbook, save yourselves the
Excellent
embarrassment.
advice. Especially since it's all been redone. Yeah. So, very good. Thank you so much, and thank you for that. So we are moving on to our action items. So we have consent agenda item A is to approve the monthly transaction reports for May 2022, approve the fund balance reports for May of 2022, approve expenditure report and projected payroll report for June of 2022. Number 4 is to approve the board minutes for the regular meeting of April 13th, 2022. Number 5 is to approve the closed session minutes for the regular meeting of April 13th, 2022. Number 6 is to approve the board minutes from the special strategic planning meeting of April 27th, 2022. Number 7 is to approve the board minutes from the special strategic planning meeting of May 11th, 2022. We tabled originally number 8 and 9, so our new number 8 is to approve the destruction of closed session tapes from February of 2018. And number 9 is to approve the personnel recommendations as listed on the agenda with our additions, our resignation with intent to retire, and our resignations for the end of the school year. If I could please have a first motion to approve our consent agenda item A.
I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Rachel. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. And a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickman,
Yes.
Michael Amiller,
Yay.
Denise Jones,
Yes.
Judy Rayson,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker, Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
motion is passed.
Excellent. A consent agenda item B is to approve the summer school staff who are already making it happen for our summer school students. So I will not list all 9 names, but if I could have a first motion to approve the summer school staff as listed on our agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Judy. And a second, please.
I'll make the second.
Thanks, Kim. And a roll call.
Judy Rayson,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Rachel Merrickman,
Yes.
Michael Amiller,
Yay.
Denise Jones,
Yes.
Claudia Parker, Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
motion passed.
Excellent. Consent agenda item C is to approve our new building principal at Central Middle School effective July 1st, 2022. If I may have a first, please.
I'll first.
Thank you, Denise. And a
Well,
second.
we have his name first.
I'm trying not to jump the gun. I always get ahead of myself.
That's okay.
Okay. Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe.
Yes.
For the colors.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you, you just amused my children.
That's what we were told. Is it Zampillo or Zampillo?
Zampillo.
Okay, because I did not want to mess that up as well, so thank you.
Excellent.
I try to amuse the children.
We're gonna formally introduce him in a minute.
We will, but
Yes.
I'm trying to do the right thing.
I know.
Okay,
I feel
so
like there should be a
Denise said a
blank right
first.
there, you
I'll
know.
second.
Thank you, Judy, and a roll call.
So Denise is first, Judy is second, I'm third, Denise Jones,
Yes.
Judy Rayson,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickman,
Yes.
Michael Amiller,
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak,
Okay,
yes, motion passed.
motion passed.
Okay.
I always get excited and introduce people before we actually approve them. So I was really trying to behave myself
I'm
and
sorry, and then I'm like, okay, we don't even have his name on here.
That was
Really?
intentional.
really trying to stay on track.
So this has been a long time overdue, and I think we have searched high and low for the absolute right fit for Central Middle School. And Dr. Zampillo is 1000% gonna be the right fit. And I can just tell by the warm welcome that he is going to fit right into our family, and he's gonna lead Central Middle School the absolute right direction that we needed to be led. And when we had him walk into the interview committee, what I can tell you is the staff was so unbelievably excited to offer him the position. They wanted to send him a video offering him the job. And I said, well, let me see if he accepts first, right? Before we go ahead and make him a video. But I think it just demonstrates that when you find the right person and you find the right fit, it's just makes so much sense for us to just join and move forward as a district. So we cannot welcome you enough, and we're so excited to have you and your family here welcoming you together, and we cannot wait for you to get started. And we'd like to come up and congratulate you and offer you some swag. We believe in swag here. And take some pictures. So, congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
So I think we should all take a picture.
I think we should all take a picture, right?
Hey.
And we will have a press.
In the center.
Doctor,
Got it.
I would love to.
Over there.
Yes, they do.
We're gonna take a picture.
Thank you.
And you're gonna be right in the center.
Yep.
With my swag bag or should I put the bag down?
Hi.
Oh, yeah, you can take it too. We can both, okay.
Sorry, I'm kind of bumping you over.
There we go, come on over, keep going.
Oh, are we still, okay.
There we go.
I don't know where I'm looking. My kids are cracking up.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know where we're looking.
His kids are like, be
Welcome.
done.
Thank you. We could really put them on the spot and make them come up.
And of course, like everything else, we have cupcakes, because we celebrate with cupcakes.
Officially.
We have cupcakes later.
Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're happy to meet you at the back over cupcakes. Thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing with us, and happy to have you here. Thank you. So, thank you.
You made the right choice.
We thought so too, but now, you know, another ringing into our head, there you go.
That's perfect.
I love it. So nice. Okay, so item number D, and I'm gonna get through it. before I get distracted. So item number D is to approve the new Director of Technology, effective July 1st, 2022. If I may have a first motion.
I won't ask his name then. I'll make a motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
Excellent. And a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Claudia Parker?
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Colin Klimzak?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
So is Judy, yes? Oh, I love it. Already.
This one I did write down, so, and I'll start with the fact that technology is not something that I know about, so people who know a lot about it, like Mr. Danley, are a true blessing to all of us, I can tell you, because when my printer doesn't work or when something goes wrong, I'm the first one, as Jonathan knows, to ask for help. So Danley comes to Evergreen Park with an enormous amount of experience, a wide range of abilities, and a depth of knowledge that is very difficult to match. His genuine personality, authentic approach to explaining technology was very appreciated by me in the interview, and his balance of humility and confidence really complement his expertise while standing out to our interview committee in a resounding way. Dan has been working in a school setting since 1996. With these 25 years, he's truly built an overly impressive resume from the ground up, from working as a technician to a senior tech support to a network administrator, power school administrator, and assistant director of technology. He's immersed himself in work troubleshooting technical problems with the staff and developing a ticketing system to address the needs of the district. He's wired and installed Ethernet cables across, see what I mean, across an entire school district to increase efficiency and impact for all users. He has experience wiring and installing cameras to increase school safety, and he's able to build and repair servers, which is great. He's extremely familiar with technical systems, terminology, needs assessments. I will tell you, the interview was, we had Julie there and she knew things, and we were asking some of these questions, and Phil and I actually had like a cheat sheet of like what the right answers were, and he's answering and then we're like, he's right, like he got that one, we had no idea. So he was familiar with all of that, and he also he knew all the terminology, he's able to do needs assessments, fixing crashes obviously, and providing support, and is very comfortable giving professional development to staff, which goes the extra mile to meet the needs of all staff and students. So while we know all of this work is vital, something that really set Dan apart for us was also his knowledge of our student management system. He's highly proficient in PowerSchool, both on the front end and the back end, which will help us to be able to use that platform to its fullest potential, because we know it does more than we're using it for right now. So we are more than happy to welcome Dan to our school community, and we look forward to all of the great things he and his department will be able to accomplish here at D124. So, lucky.
Here with his wife, thank you so much for coming. And
More swag.
More swag. Pictures. And cupcakes.
Do you like our cupcakes again?
Thanks, John.
Way to go. Congratulations.
Here's your swag. Thank you so much. Congratulations. We all in?
Okay. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, thank you.
So excited to have you.
And you have your family here.
My
too,
wife is
so-
here and the kids watching
Welcome
the
aboard.
stream.
They can tell you, like, from the technological standpoint, how we're doing, right? So thank you so much and welcome.
Checking out our
I know, right?
technology then.
All right. Item E, all right, in our consent agenda is to approve the school-wide waivers for Northwest and Central Middle School as outlined by Dr. Carlson. If I could have a first motion, please.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Michael, and a second.
I second.
Thank you, Judy, and a roll call.
Michael Allmiller?
Yeah.
Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard? Yes. Claudia Parker?
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Excellent. Next on is item G. Nope. Item F. I told you I get excited. Okay. So item F is to approve to decommission Eureka and Go math materials and additional outdated curriculum items. If I could have a first motion, please,
I'll make that motion.
and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, and a roll call.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Denise Jones?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Claudia Parker?
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Excellent. Item G is to approve the settlement agreement with Myers Stores LP for the 2020 PTAB objection. If I could have a first motion, please,
I'll make the first motion.
and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rachel. And a roll call, please.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Claudia Parker? Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Excellent. And just as an aside, we might be getting a crash course in PTAB, all things PTAB. We've already asked for some more information on just how it all works out. So little light reading for the board, but I know it's good for us to know these things.
I look forward to it.
So, I know, so thank you, Michael. No, it was good, there are questions that need to be asked, so that's good. Okay, item number H is to approve the fiscal year 23 Aero Budget as outlined by Mr. Grossi today. A first motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Excellent. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Denise, and a roll call, please.
Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Michael Amiller.
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker. Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Excellent. And then finally, item I is to approve the parent handbook for the 2022-2023 school year. May I have a first motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
And a second? Thank you, Rachel.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kim. And a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker. Judy Rayson.
Yes.
Michael Amiller.
Yay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Excellent. So now we will recess to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel, including hearing testimony on a complaint launched against an employee or legal counsel to determine its validity, and collective negotiation matters between the district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. Do I need a roll call? Yes.
I'll make the first
Thank you.
motion.
Second.
Busy reading. And a roll call, please. Thank you, Michael.
Kim Leonard, yes. Michael Amiller.
Yay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Judy Rayson.
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Claudia Parker.
Yes.
And Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. So, we have an action item after, but it's not.
We'll be taking action afterwards.
Okay.
All right,
Wow.
so let's have some cupcakes and celebrate.
Let's have some cupcakes and